Hello everyone, this is Professor Paulo. Welcome you back to Psych 265, Behavioral Research in Psychology Online. And today we're going to be talking about the method section. So the introduction section is done, or should be done, and this is probably the most difficult section to write. And so if you struggle with that a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. You'll have a chance to revise it and make it better for the final paper. And I expect it to be a bit of a bumpy road for some of you writing the introduction for the first time, really writing a different type of paper, a research paper, a manuscript paper. This is a new experience. So if that was difficult, it's expected to be more difficult. Now, the method section, in contrast, is really, really easy. And it should take about 10 minutes to write the method section. So I'm going to bring you to the instructions, and then we're going to be talking about what I want in the method section. So go to assignments, because that's where all the written papers are. And you want writing the method section, the PDF file, and I will put the video in here as well in the assignments folder. And it's pretty basic, as you can see. There's only 3 sections. So you're going to start with the method in 12-point text. Let me open up another Word document here. So first thing you're going to write is method. Got to spell it right, obviously. In your regular font. This could be, you can use Times New Roman, or you can use Arial, or whatever common font. Don't use like a crazy font, but we want that in 12-point font. Center it, just like that. Method, 12-point text, not bold and not underlined. Now the method should start on a separate page from the introduction. So you're going to end the introduction, and then on a new page you're going to start the method. So that's center, justify the word method. Now you're going to want the word participants. But this is going to be in italics. So let's make that italics. Okay, then you're going to start the next line down like that. Don't write anything after participants. Leave it on its own line. It's a subheading. Should be 12 points in italics. Same font as you wrote for method. And we want 1 to 2 sentences describing the total number of participants. Well, the total number of participants is 20. So there are 20 participants, and there are actually, let's get this right, 16 females, 3 males, and 1 non-binary participant. So the rundown for participants is 16 females, 3 males, and 1 non-binary participant. So you're going to write incomplete sentences below the word participants. Write that how many participants there were. Write it in complete sentences. The age range was 19 to 30. So the age range was 19 to 30, and they were recruited from a research methods class at Borough Manhattan Community College. So that's basically 2 sentences that you can write. I basically told you what to write. Very, very basic. So after you write participants, leave a little space, and then materials, and that's going to be in italics as well. Start the line below it. So what are your materials? So an online survey was completed, and then you want to also list some of the variables that we measured. So we measured things like empathy, we measured things like health anxiety, depression, generalized anxiety, attachment style. We also measured vaccination status. We measured fear of having a future pandemic. We measured social distancing, So those are some of the variables. You can write that down. So it was an online survey completed which measured these variables that I mentioned. Materials done. Procedure. And obviously this is a really easy section to write because we used a survey. If we didn't use a survey, this could be much more difficult to write or much lengthier. So then procedure, what did you do? An online survey was completed that took approximately 30 minutes. And that's it. One sentence. And the materials and the procedure are very similar because the procedure is just completing, an online survey. So an online survey was completed, took approximately 30 minutes to complete. You can write that it was done for fulfillment of course credit or was done for course credit. If you want to write that, you can write that. The difference in the materials and procedure is the materials describes the survey. So an online survey that measured these variables. That's the materials. The procedure is basically we completed the online survey. Don't use the word we, obviously. An online survey was completed. That took approximately 30, 45 minutes, whatever it took. And it was done in fulfillment for course credit or for course credit. And that's it. Very, very basic. Now, if you had a more complicated study, you're going to have a much more complicated method. But when you're just doing an online survey, there's really not much going on other than completing the survey. So this section becomes really simplified. And so there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to score 10 out of 10 on this. This should be a perfect section because there's really not much to do here. As long as you put method at the top and then put the subheadings in italics and then write what I basically just told you to write, this should make up for some of the more difficulty with the introduction. Excuse me. Some of you had some difficulty with the introduction. That's to be expected. The introduction's, the more difficult part of this paper. This is your 10 out of 10. Should be 10 out of 10. I shouldn't have to make corrections here. I probably will, but I shouldn't have to make corrections here. So hopefully this clears it up. If you have any more questions, you can let me know. This should take you about 10 minutes to do. And that's your assignment for the week. So while you're doing this, you can be doing the other stuff for the course. Like start studying for the exam, the midterm, which is going to happen, in week 4. So after 3 weeks of content, after this week, you'll be done with all the content for the midterm. Start studying. The study guide will be provided online. So this should not take long. Okay, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you next time for the discussion, or the results in the discussion section.